I just prefer to live in peace. Hello again, Gosha, sociologist and psychotherapist. I came to you today again to share one of the lessons I've learned in my life. Learned on my own, and now also seeing it in others and trying to just help those who come to me to figure out what's best when they experience conflict. You see, there is a lot of people that think that conflict is something bad, that and especially in the context of some kind of religious or spiritual philosophy. Often people think that if you avoid conflict, if you are going the path of peace, tranquility, just giving others do whatever they want with you, then they are first more spiritual, and second of all, then they are learning better to be best humans or followers of that spirituality. And I don't know anyone as me that would be making the same mistake for so long time. Honestly, I done that even as a follower of two different spiritualities, because for the first 20 years of my life I followed one spiritual path, and now for the past almost 15 I'm following the other. And I noticed I was doing the same mistake on both ends. So what I learned is that, first of all, if you're not going into the confrontation, which by the way can be very peaceful, but still you feel this discomfort of other person not agreeing with you, and you fighting for your own rights, or at least standing up to somebody, defending your dignity, or at least saying things honestly as you see them, it's still very uncomfortable to face this emotions of the other person, this disapproval of other, or even the challenge, because if the person has a hurt ego and really want to put you down in that confrontation, it's extremely uncomfortable. Let's be honest. It's not the thing we want to experience for pleasure, at least. But if we don't do that, we are in here under serious risk. And I would like to talk about these risks because I see them also in my client as a psychotherapy. And my clients, they are coming to me, and sometimes they are facing the consequences of not wanting to stand up to themselves and going on this fake peaceful life, just feeling totally unworthy. So, as I mentioned, the first threat or danger of not being willing to go into conflict ultimately is that you feel lower self-worth. And why is that? Because if you feel that something is uncomfortable in my relationship to other, or in a certain situation that you just simply don't agree with, then if you don't voice it, your subconscious stores the information. Then you are not as worthy person as the other, because the other is saying exactly what they want, and you're just shutting up. So you're believing after a while that you are not precious enough to be able to voice your needs, expectations, opinions. And often if it is from the fear of not getting it, or the fear of being shut down, basically, or even put down if that person thinks that you expect something extraordinary. which, by the way, in the dynamic with narcissists you will find very often. We can talk about that maybe in the future. So yeah, and so the first thing, you start not believing in your worth. The second danger is that you start more and more live in your own imagination, because then you learn that nothing can be met in your reality that you really need. So your needs are not being met, and you won't be voicing them, you won't be defending yourself. That's why you start living in the expectations of some things that will never happen. So you start to be a dreamer, and then less and less practical. So you're not going to be focusing ultimately on the goals, on the activities that really can bring you satisfaction in life, because you will be subconsciously again teaching yourself you're not going to get that anyway. So you see, disconnecting from the truth of what you want get you ultimately further and further and further from that what you really would make you happy and satisfied. So and that's why what I learned, what helped me into getting back on the trajectory of actually getting the life what that makes me happy, is to start voicing my needs. And sometimes it is in a situation of confrontation, of conflicts, like, no, you're not going to do that, that's not what's going to make me happy. And ultimately also saying, what will make me happy is this, this and that. And believe me, after like 30 plus years of not saying what I really wanted, it was very difficult to start really saying what I want. So I would say that's the remedy of it. So again, to recap, not going into confrontation and conflicts can get you ultimately further away from the peace you seek, because you will start living in the reality that is not the one that you share with others. So you deprive yourself of happiness that you are seeking by trying to keep the peace around you. Let me know if it makes sense to you. For now, hugs.